I
repo.
I do not have it, and I left the question on the WhatsApp group so that I can start working on it. So if you can kindly share it
Okay,
to
so
me.
this is what I'm going to do. Yeah, I'm going to share it with you so that you would now clone it.
Okay.
So that you would now clone it and let me share it now. Let me update, push it to the repo so that you can clone. Is that okay?
Okay, sure.
So let me mute so that I get to work.
Okay.
So I'm already committing the code to the repo now. So you should be on your own machine and clone it. Then you go through it. I think since we don't have much people at hand now, I would give the leverage of you being able, yeah,
Okay.
being able to ask questions as regard what we've done. All right, so I just sent it to the repo now. Check your repo. Ah, it's like network has kicked Studio out of the meeting. All right, so Studio, check the chat box. I just dropped the link to the GitHub repo, so you can now clone it on your PC, and let's get started. Once you've cloned it, you let me know. Today we'll just be looking at introduction to React. So that's what we'll be doing. So I'm currently communicating with the other students, and I think one is about to join now. So once he joins, we'll get started. But if he doesn't make it, you can now ask all your questions as regards the code you are seeing, and I would quickly explain them better to you. So that's just what I'm going to do. So Studio, what's your status now? Have you been able to clone the repo? So let me know in the chat box, and quickly look at
I have been switching to my. I joined it from the phone, so I'm now connected to my machine and I'm working on the link so that I can clone it.
all right, so that's great and nice to hear. So just keep working on it, and then So why Prince, I can see people are complaining about the link. So what link were you on before, or you just joining?
Sorry, I was here before where it was only Joshua I met, so I need to leave and then rejoin. I'm using the same link that we normally use. I don't know if you can
Okay,
hear me.
okay. Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you.
It's just like 10 minutes to the end of the class already. So what's going to happen for we that are just joining now?
I guess there was just a communication error because I actually requested for the admin to shift the meeting time to 4 p.m. as I had an emergency at hand. So I actually joined 4 p.m. So I was quite surprised seeing that when I joined the meeting link, I saw nobody was present. Then I had to wait a little. Then I saw Studio. Studio came in and yeah, I kind of got confident a little. So we started working out something. Oh, sorry about that, Joshua. And to now top it all, you guys joined the wrong link. So all you have to do is probably have to take down this link on your notepad.
You're breaking, we can't hear you
Yeah,
because it's
you
not
have
even
to take
nice
it
at
on your
all. We've been in
notepad.
the wrong class
So
since
sorry
morning.
about that. Yeah, so sorry about that. So sorry about that. So sorry about that. Bolu, you're welcome. So this is the link. This is the link we've been using though. The link, the VMW Agua AP DQD is the link, and the fact is I even added mine to my Google Meet calendar and agenda. So anytime I just go to my Google Meet on my Gmail app, it tells me the link for the intermediate and also let me know the time. So the class was actually, I requested for an extension of time to 4 p.m. So that's what happened. Remember what we discussed. Today we are to work on React. So that's what we're supposed to work on. So let's not waste our time, and let's quickly do a brief introduction to React, and let's see what we can do. So like we all know, React is a very popular JavaScript library. I hope you guys can hear me. Can hear me, please? You guys should give the reactions. Don't worry, we won't do any coding since I can see you guys are actually stressed. We'll just discuss it, and yeah, so that's good to hear. Okay, okay, okay. All right, I sincerely apologize about that, and the fact that maybe I should have done the communication after reaching out to the admin and let you guys know that the class was supposed to be for 4 p.m. Yeah, because I had an emergency. I even joined a little late. I joined 5 minutes or so. Yeah, 5 minutes or so. So I was 5 minutes late due to the fact, is it 5 or 10? I think I was 5 or 10 minutes late because I just finished up working at hand. Well, thank God for life. We're good and we're okay. So I also try as much as possible to switch to my laptop because I really had to do all the chat stuff. So I'm switching. You guys should hold on. All right, guys. So let's not waste our time further. I've been able to switch to my laptop. Let us quickly see if we were in today's um tech tools talk. You would notice I spoke about you looking at the current tools you're currently using, language or whatsoever. You have to look at it, then ask yourself, do I need to upgrade? Is there a need? Okay, so I know you guys might have heard a lot about React, and you ask yourself, do I really need to upgrade? Is there a need? Well, of course, there is, and doesn't want to stop. So, guys, the network just kicked me out. Um, so remember, if you are studying React, let me take you to a website, which is the React website. You would be in my class when it comes to React. We work with the documentation a lot because no other page will teach you better like the documentation page. I always say that any language you want to learn. Oh, why am I going to Udemy? Hold on a second. Clicked on the wrong link. So any language you want to learn, the documentation page is actually the best page for you to learn about React. So hold on a second. You guys will be needing this link. Very, very important. Sleep on it, wake up on it, do everything you can do on it. But I will also do my best to also teach you. Because if you want to know the fundamentals in a way that is beyond words, then you definitely need this link. Good. Yeah. So this is it. Let me send you the link why I introduce React. So let's get started. So React is actually a very popular JavaScript library and is used for building user interfaces and single page application. I'm very confident that people will ask me what is a single page application, SPA, and is there other types of application? I'm sure you guys would want to ask that question. Yeah, we use React to build user interface and single page application. Are you with me? So, and actually, a single page application is a web application that loads a single HTML page. And guess what? Not just that it loads the single HTML page, it dynamically updates the content without requiring the full page reload. Are you with me? So let's say, let's use this interface as an example now. Can you guys see this interface? Can you see my screen? Let me know, give a reaction if you can see my screen. Can you guys see my screen? Sidu, Joshua, Prince, Temitayo. Okay, I can see you guys can see my screen. All right, Bolu is also here. Bolu. All right, good. So look at this. Look at this notification. Or let's say, hold on a second. Let me reduce the intensity or volume of the rain by shutting. All right. So I was actually explaining a single page application for you. So let's say I updated the content here, or the server sent a different content here. Are you with me? A single page application will not cause the whole full page itself to reload. Rather, it's going to dynamically update the content here. Are you getting? Without making the full page to reload. So that's an example, or that's what we call a single page application. So let me type it down here for you. You are going to learn about different kinds of applications. So I'm just telling you what React actually do. And a single page application, I think I have to be fast with typing, is a web application. And I also try to send in a note. It's a web application that loads HTML page and dynamically updates the content without requiring full page reloads. So that's what a single page application is. And you know the characteristics of a single page application is that the single page application loads only a single HTML page. The content is updated dynamically using JavaScript. Now you're going to see how React does this, and the browser renders the content. So it's a client side rendering. So React, you should know React is actually client what? Client side rendering. So in case you are wondering what's actually client side rendering, you ask the question, what's client side rendering? Anything that is not being sent by the server, are you getting? Anything that is not being sent by the server. When I mean not being sent by the server is before traditionally there's a way we build such that the page, when you request for a page, your request goes to the server, then the server serves you the page. Not just serves you the page, it's also try to make the page dynamic so that you can also communicate with it on the back end. But now it's no longer like that. Are you with me? So the 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 server, all the server just do is it provides an API, it provides an interface for you to connect with it from the client side, sending your request, it does the processing and the rest of the stuff. So your page can get hosted on another place. That's your React application or so can get hosted on another server, probably like a static page. Then now you can see that it's actually being rendered as a client side. The client is so when you make a request, you're actually requesting for a client side as a static page, but it's dynamically being updated by React. How is React doing that? Any request that comes in, any request you send to the server or any message that comes to this from the server, React picks it up and dynamically updates that part of the page without causing the full HTML page itself to reload. Are you guys getting the full gist now? So that's just one thing. So the browser renders your content. So it's literally client side rendering. And one of the features is that sorry, one of the features is that there's no full page reloads. So navigations and updates occur without the full page being reloaded. So what's the advantage when I say no full page reload, no full page reload? Like what's the advantage? Yes, there'll be reduced latency and there will actually be improved user experience, isn't it? Imagine you submitted something or so, and it's triggering your full page to reload, or you clicked on something and because the server is sending in something, it triggers your full page to reload. That's what about the advent of things like Ajax. I don't know if you guys have heard of Ajax. Has anyone heard about Ajax? Oh, there are a lot of things you guys have not heard about. So let me see if I can. There's a way we do Ajax such that the full definition of here exactly, Sido got it correctly. It's called asynchronous JavaScript and XML. You forgot to add that part, Sido, and XML. Well done for that. Good. So it helps you to create a dynamic and interactive web page. How does it do that? It allows a synchronous connection or communication between the client side and the server side. Always remember, your client side is your front end application, and your server side is your programming interface. Yeah, well done. Temitayo also said he has heard about Ajax. Yeah, Ajax or Ajax. Yeah, whatever pronunciation suits, but it's actually a short form for two. So when a page is no, there's no full page reload. There will faster navigation, of course. When you click on other page, one other feature is when you click on something, you don't need to. Let's say you go to a site now. Let me give you an example. Can you see this React site now? Normally, if you were to do it the traditional way without using React, when you click on tutorial, look at this navigation tutorial tic-tac-toe. When you click on it, do you know what happens? It will actually go send a message to the server asking for this page. But now, since you are using a single page loading, it doesn't go to the server. Everything is now a single page, but actually you've broken them down into what did I call it? Into modules. And that's now you're not using SPA. So when you click on this, you are not going to the server and requesting for anything. Everything is actually there. You can see how fast it is. Did you see the browser reload? Take note of this. Did you see it reload? Are you seeing it reloading? It's not reloading. So that's one sweet thing about it. It automatically or dynamically updates content without forcing the full page to reload. So one way you can know that a site is being built with React is that when you click on the links or on a page to take you to another place, it doesn't do what? There's no reloading. So it gives you faster navigation than the traditional HTML and CSS sites you build. I hope you guys just saw the demonstration I gave you guys now. So I want to wake you guys appetite a lot about React. I hope you guys are getting that is it. So one way you can check if the site is not reactive, is not written with React or Nest.js or so, is the fact that when you click on the links, if you to check this part, look at this refresh part or so. Normally when you click on it, it's supposed to show you that it's reloading and it's taking you to another page. But if it is not doing that, it is React. It's a single page and the contents are being updated dynamically. So how is that being done? Yeah, how's that being done? That's the question. You can see how fast navigation is now. To me now, when I'm learning about React or so on this site, you can see I'll just as I'm done reading this part, I'll click on the next part. Click me there. This is interesting. Let me read more. Oh, writing markup. I'll click on it. Click me there. Faster navigation, improved responsiveness, and better performance. Let me write that down for you guys. So you see faster navigation. Not just that, there's what we call improved responsiveness. I know after this, you guys would love when you hear single page application. And not just that, there's better performance. Do you know why I say there's better performance? It's not every time you will go to the server and ask for a page. Once you click on this link, that's taking you there. Once you click on this link, it will go and tell this server, somebody just requested for this page, and so you get. So that's just one thing. Now, let me mention platforms that use single page applications for you. And take note, it's not only React. It's not only React. It's not only React that uses single page application or that implements single page applications. So it's not only React. Sometimes I don't know. My hand just gets stuck, and I want to type at speed to just reduce me. So other applications that or other frameworks, other JavaScript framework that uses SPA. Other JavaScript framework that uses SPA is yeah, let me mention them. There are React. React is one, of course. So we've talked about React, so we are talking about other. So there's Angular and there's Vue.js. Guess guess one of the platform that uses SPA a lot. Are you seeing that your Gmail? That Gmail app is actually an SPA. It's a very classic example. A classic example of SPA. Not just that. Are you seeing your Google Map? It's a very good example. Then are you seeing your Facebook? Yeah. That's how Facebook actually, when you're on your Facebook, you don't want to leave. You're always there. Yes, because of the features, the faster navigation, the responsiveness, improved responsiveness, and better performance. Yes, all thanks to SPA. So why is that? Why should that be a very good reason for us to leave the so interesting JavaScript and HTML and so? Is that enough? I ask myself that question. And what's the limitation when I move to SPA? I also ask myself that question. Well, I have one very big limitation when I move to SPA. You know the limitation? Search engine performance. That's your search engine optimization. SEO. SEO. You understand? Now, very challenging when you use a single page application. Well, there are always workarounds around it. So the question now should not be, why should I use React? Why should I go there? That should be the question. Is there are you guys following? If you are following, let me know. Are you following? Are we following? Let me see how many people are present. Okay, Temitayo, Joshua, Prince, Stido, Bolu. I hope you guys are all following. Yeah, very good to hear. I can see Temitayo has given me a reaction. So the question is, why should I use it? Well, I will introduce you to what they call component-based architecture. So I'm going to give you a very good example of component-based architecture. Can you see the header of this site, of this React site? If we are building this using your traditional HTML and CSS, let me give you an example. If you are building this using your traditional HTML and CSS, I know some of you in the beginners class have seen a header or so. This is your index.html page, which is your home page. Let's say you now want to create an about page, and you say about.html. Do you know what you will do now? You will go to your index.html and go and copy the header, the code you wrote for the header. That's the HTML code you wrote for the header. Are you with me? You will now come here and you also paste it here before you start writing your codes. Isn't that tiring? Let's say for this header now, let's create an header. So we create an header and it just have two things. Welcome. That's a p tag that says welcome. Let me give you a very good explanation. This p tag says welcome, and it has another one that says I'm at the ending, and I'll say, why is my HTML taking so much time to load? Why do they want to turn me to caveman? Oh, sometimes. And I will call this place happy ending. Then I'll try to use inline styling. So I will see style, and I would see yep, no, yeah. So what I'll do is I'll give it a background color, and I'll say the background color should be blue. Remember, I said that I won't be doing any coding. You guys should just permit me to do this one. Is that actually not needed, but we should just do it. And I will say width should be full screen, or yeah, should we say which should be 100% of your view width. Good. And not just that, I would say the display should be flex. Flex direction should be row. Yeah, which is the default. Then justify contents, and I'll give space between. Not just that. Uh, I'll give it a height. I'll give it a height of 45 pixel. Okay, that's good. So here I'll give it a style, and I'll give it a font. I hope I'm still in class and network has not done its best in kicking me out. Okay, I'm still in the class. Hope you guys are following also. I'll give it font a font width. And I'll give it a font width of 900. Then I'll give it the text size. I guess I'm more of tailwind inclined now. So most times we use text size instead of fonts. So you see 21 pixel. Good. So let me copy this. So I'll paste this here. Not just that, I would reduce this one to 12 pixel. Oh no, 15 pixel is okay. So I'm trying to show you guys something. I'm not actually just talking to myself. Let me show you guys something. Good. Oh, one more thing I missed here is align items should be center. And not just that, I'll go to my body and I'll tell it, see, are you seeing that padding you are doing? I don't like it. So I'll see okay, I think it should be coming from here, and I'll see margin inline. I think, yeah. I'll see margin and I'll see inline stats should be 0 pixel, and margin inline end should be 0 pixel. And then yeah, so the next one I should do is I should duplicate this and give this here, and then see content and I'll see content box. Sorry, box sizing. I think the box sizing. Hold on a second, guys, and I'll see content box. Don't mind me talking to myself. I just want to prove a point to you guys. I'll see padding left should be 0 pixel. Padding top should be 0 pixel. And if it's the HTML that is doing this, we'll also go there and then affect it. Okay, let's see who is doing this. Hold on a second. Let's look for the cause of this. Who are you in this body? So all thanks to the HTML, we found the culprit. So HTML is actually doing this, and it's giving us a margin we don't need. So I think I will apply the same here. Well, see style. Sorry, I've already copied everything before. Huh? So it doesn't want to change, but let us continue. Okay, it has changed. So um so, all right, so guys, are you guys seeing this now? So let's say I now create another page, and let's call this page the other page, other.html, and I want to the header now. Do you know what I'm going to do to the header? Since that all of them has the same header, look at the header here. This is the header. Do you know what I'll do in HTML? I will come here and I will copy the header of the about. You can see all what I'm going to copy. I'll copy it here and I will come to the other page I just created. Are you seeing it? And I will paste it here. So isn't that tiring? Is that not redundancy? Is that not too much of a code? Are you with me? And how does that help you to make your content dynamic? Your content cannot be dynamic. That's another thing. Are you getting? For people that are logging in now and you want to show them their, let's say, is their balance, you would now have to make like, if you go to the let's go to another page. Let's go to the slash. What's the name of this page I just created? The other page. So we'll see we change this to order. Why did you do that? So let's change this to order. Now you can see we are in the order page now. We also have the header here. But let's say you now have the header whereby you always display a user's balance. That means when you go to the about page, you will make a request to your server and ask for the user's balance, isn't it? In order for you to display it in the header here. And can you guys notice that the page, there's a full page reload? Can you see the X mark? Can you see the full page reload as compared to the single page loading which React offers us? So you have to make a request to the server every time. And not just that, for this particular header now, the content does not remain, since you know in single page application, the content remains the same. It's a single page. So this header will be shared among all of the pages. Both your order page, your index page, your about page is going to be shared among. So what how do React do that? I get it. I'm trying to wait you guys up.
You are breaking, oh. You are breaking, oh.
All right, guys, am I still breaking?
It's better now.
Okay, yeah, and I love you guys should take note of it has kicked me out again. What did I do? Why is this way behaving like this? All right, guys, the network kicked me out the second time. How about now? Can you guys hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, now you guys should take note of Prince points. Prince made a very good point I love. He said it's not only tiring in the sense that you have to copy the header for all the page, you have to make a request to the server. And let me wait you guys appetite more. Let's say you are building a site now. Let me call this notes.txt because I want to type and I don't want any stress. So let's say you are building a site now, and since you are not using a single page loading, you are using your traditional HTML and CSS, you go to the about page. On the top of the header, you want to keep giving people their balance. You want to keep showing people their balance. So the about page, let's do a breakdown. The about page will go, it will go to the server, isn't it? When it goes to the server, it will request using the person's personal ID, maybe session ID or so. It will request for account balance, Abi. It will request for the account balance, isn't it? Index page will go. It will go to the server, follow the same process. See, it will go there. It will request for account balance. Not only will index page go. Let's say, let me see the order page. You want to order also. It's going to go there. It will request for account balance. It's not only order page. Oh. Let's say, info page will go. Since the info page is also using the header and it has the person account balance to display, to go there. Now let's now see you are now the one paying from your pocket for this site. And every balance you request for, your server is going to do what? It's going to go to the database to do what? To fetch this account balance. Why? Why is it going to go to the database to fetch? The fact that it's going to go to the database to fetch is because it doesn't want to give you what they call redundant data. I don't know if you guys have been to a site, or those site that sells data, or airtime. And when you go there, you will pay money into the site, and it will not reflect. You have to talk to the admin. The admin will go there and go and change your balance for you. I don't know if you guys have seen something like that. You know, this might be an example of it. Probably there's their kind of logic also is failing. You understand? They don't want to give you redundant data, so they must always do what? So they must always go to what? They must always go to the database. Now let's say you are using MongoDB now, because it's balance you're actually fetching. You don't want to arrange them into table. There's no relationship between them. I hope I'm still connected because the network showed me it can kick me out anytime. Okay, that's good. So you would have to go to your MongoDB. Let's now say your MongoDB now, which is your database. It charges you per every what? Every successful, let me see, write or read request. Write or read requests. Let me use the slash. Are you guys getting my point now? So your MongoDB charges for every write or read request. So just for a single user, let's now break down the analogy. For a single user, now, let me say there are 10 pages in the site with the header to fetch account balance. Are you getting my point now? And not just that, the user goes to this site. Let me say he does this 10 times a day. Are you getting? So that means you would request for account balance 100 times. So you are going to do a database request 100 times for account balance. How about other content in the site? Ask yourself that question. How about other content in the site? So I don't know if you guys have heard about proxies, like Engine X and so, that can act as a load balancer. It doesn't just do only load balancer. It does what we call client-side kicking. That was what people were now using then. You know what Nginx will do for you? Nginx will help you collect all your sites, all the requests that are coming to your site. You understand? And instead of it going to your server, only it quickly goes to the server to check. Are you getting? It goes to your server to check for the data, to see that the data, you understand? So let me say for a user now, Nginx might not go continuously. You get it keeps serving you still results that have not, that it has not fully done. Maybe
You're breaking, no. You're breaking, sir.
let me see.
You're breaking.
After a while, the next
I think you're breaking, no. We can't hear you very well.
go to your
Your line is breaking, no.
server again. To go and get updated. You understand? So that's why you see some site that when you pay money to it, you see that. Guys, can you hear me, guys? How about now? Can you guys hear me? Sorry, the network here is actually raining
Yes.
very bad here. So I sincerely
Yes.
apologize for the up and down. I hope you guys are getting the concept of what I'm explaining. I hope it's making sense. Is it making any sense? I hope it is. And if you have any concern, also let me know on the chat box. I'm trying to whet our appetite for React. And like I say, I like to put everybody at speed. The site, I hope you guys still have the site I pinned down. I'm going to teach you guys how to navigate it. You guys are going to take home on it. Understand? So when I actually started learning React, I learned with EDX. It was a paid program. EDX offers certifications. And one very thing that struck me with EDX was the fact that they actually made me walk through the documentation page before I even get to look at their module or study the module itself. And that's what we do at My Dream Connect also. Understand? So let's go back to work. So what I was saying, I was doing
I
a
feel like,
breakdown of
sorry to
why
cut you short.
single page.
I feel like we've missed a lot of explanation that you're trying to explain. Oh. So maybe you can just take it back a bit.
Okay. So let me take it back to where we are doing. We are doing an analogy on based on the header. Let's say we are saying maybe the header has somewhere to fetch account balance. No, this is not the time for calls, please. So let's say probably here is a fetch account balance and it goes to the server. I hope it has not kicked me out based on the call. Okay. Yeah. So we are doing the breakdown and we are talking about each of the pages now. Since it's not a single page application, when you go to about, there's a full page reload. You can see that this refresh, it will turn to like X as if the browser is reloading, it's fetching from the server. Can you see it? Exactly. So that means for each reload, you are going to what? You'll be going to the server to request for account balance. And let's say you are using database like MongoDB to store the account balance. You don't want redundant data. So your server would always go to the database to what? To fetch the account balance. And MongoDB, let's say the option you choose for MongoDB is you are paying per successful what? Read or write requests. So let's now say for a single user now, and every day you visit 10 pages in the site. Yeah, let's say your site has 10 pages with header that always fetches account balance when you are successfully logging. If you see those 10 pages 10 times every day, that is what you are making 100 what? 100 requests. That's 100 visits for account balance requests. Let's now say it's not only account balance you are updating the user on. Let's say there are other data that are in the database that you are fetching dynamically also. So that means for a single user in a month or in a day, you can make about 400 requests to what? To your database. Let's now say MongoDB is charging $1. Let's say MongoDB rather is charging $1 for let me see, for 100 successful requests. So for this user now, each day, $1 for what? Per 100 successful requests. So let's now say for each day, this user accumulates a cost of what? A cost of $4 on your head. What of if your site now has, let's say, 3,000 visitors? So every day for your database, you are going to be paying what? 1,000 what? That is $12,000 every day for database service. We've not talked about your server. Let's say the server you are using now, those hosting services like let's say hosting services like AWS, Oracle, or you are using a render, or you are using there are a lot of hosting service. We've not talked about their pricing for your hosting service and how they are being charged. Is it monthly? Is it based on throughput or so?
You will talk about that. So a lot of people started using all these front-facing proxies. They call them front-facing proxies and load balancers. And because if you look at this now, every time you are making a request, your server is always getting what? Your server is always getting requests. And let's say you have 3,000 users, your site is going to fail. So you try to use load balancers like Nginx. You understand? There are a lot of load balancers and front-facing proxies. What would they now help you to do? They will help you to reduce latency. They will help you to reduce latency, whereby the page you share to them, you feed them a page, they will keep serving you that page. And not just only serving you the page, they will know what you will be getting stale infos, because those are not real-time infos again. Are you getting my point? Only request that has to do with the database, writing in the database. Let's say writing in the database. Yeah, it's only those kind of requests. Are you with me? That is actually going to go through successful. That's one way you can reduce costs. So you guys can see the reason why we needed an SPA. Or you guys can see the reason why we needed a single page application. So since if you have a single page application now, let me now give you the reasons why a single page application is good. If you have a single page application, it's actually just a single what? It's actually just a single HTML page that gets what? All the content gets reload dynamically. I gave the definition of this single page application initially, isn't it? So all the content gets reloads dynamically, and with that, and with the feature that React now introduced, that's one of the features that make React what it is the component based feature. And what's the component based? A UI is reusable. So you can see this DRY, this dry logic we did here, whereby the header, we copied the header for the about, and we also went to the order page and we also pasted there. No, in this case, we use what we call a component based logic. So we build the header, and whenever we need it in any of the page, we just call it. And now the header only fetch request from the server about the account balance just once. And you know why it is just once? Since it's first just once, now look at how the single page application is. So let's look at this React interface again, so I will explain better. Then we'll also try to look at what a component is on the React documentation. So now you can see that this is the header here now. The header would not change, because what we are requesting for is another page. Let's say we are requesting for your first component. We want to read about your first component. The header is not going to reload. The only content that will reload here is the middle. You can see your first component, passing props to a component. It's only this that will change. So we are not going to the header to fetch any request, whereby we save ourselves the stress of what? We save ourselves the stress of these amounts that we would have to pay for just header, just to show account balance on the header for 3,000 users. You are paying $12,000. Can you guys see that? Can you guys see why if you do a breakdown of some of these service, yeah, the class will be ending by 6 p.m. since we started by 4. It's just a 2 hours class. So can you guys see the reason why we decided to use a single page application, and why some of the services you use, they charge such high amount of money so as to cover operation costs? Not only cover operation costs, but to also make profits. Are you getting? So what are the features that React offer? React offers what we call component based feature. And what's the component based feature doing? It's a reusable UI building block. Are you getting? So yeah, everything is reusable. Then React offer what we call the virtual DOM. So it efficiently updates your DOM without requiring the actual DOM. What's the actual DOM? The actual DOM we use in our last class. So React offers virtual DOM. And not just only that, React offers syntax expression for JavaScript, and it allows HTML like syntax, and we call it the JSX. So we also study about JSX. And not only that, React offers what we call state and props. So we can now pass informations between components. Are you getting? That's one feature that React also offer. So one of the benefits of React is efficient what rendering. So it's fast and efficient. You can see it here. If it's the normal HTML and CSS we are using, the whole page will load, and will also stress our server. So it's very fast. Can you see it? You can navigate everything that has to do with this site fast and efficiently. Can you see that? So those are the advantages of what? Those are the advantages of React. Not just that, React uses what we call reusable components, which we already know about. So it helps your code to be modular and also what? Maintainable. So now, what's the advantage there now? Do you know you can be working on the header since everything is now component based? You can make changes on the header and it will not affect the rest of the page because everything now is now what is now modularized. So that's one good advantage. And not just that, do you know what React also offer? React has a large community. Not just large community, it also have extensive what resources. Prince, your hand is up. The my volume is not that good, so you are going to have your question on the chat box because I might have difficulty hearing you. Let me have your question on the chat box. So while you are typing your question on the chat box, we would look now. I will show you guys how to navigate around the documentation page. Then I will tell you guys what to do and how it's going to be. Meanwhile, I'll be waiting for Prince's question, and I'll also be sending in the attendance link. So do you guys have any other question? Prince is already sending in a question. Temitayo, Joshua, Stido, Bolu. Hope I was not too fast. Hope you guys all got the concepts. I hope you guys all got the concepts. Temitayo gave me a thumbs down emoji. What is happening, Temitayo? Give me your question. Let me have your question here. And
I mean, I
yeah,
don't have any
I'll be
question.
able
Like,
to see
there's
how
no
to give
issue.
you a proper.
Can you
Okay,
hear
that's
me?
good to hear. That's good to hear. Yeah, I can hear you, Temitayo. That's good to hear. Uh, Prince, I'm here to see what you're typing. Joshua, is Joshua still in the class? Stido, Bolu, do you have any question? Did you follow through? Yeah, I promised you guys we won't write any code due to the fact that you guys were all waiting and stressed. So, is there any question? So this is the React we've all been hearing about. This is it, and yeah, it's actually very interesting. You can see how React has helped us to beat costs, not just costs, helps our page to load faster. You get, although React also has its downside, and I did tell you guys about the downside. I told you that one of the challenges we can have is what the search engine optimization, and most times SPAs can be very, very slow. That's single page applications. They can be very, very slow. And one other issues you will face with SPA is what we call security considerations. Well, you understand that why we continue the class. Security considerations is very, very important in React. Understand? We have to be very, very good in order to properly implement the necessary security. I hope you guys are all following. So, Prince, I'm here to see your question on the chat box. And meanwhile, I'm asking for the attendance link. And then while we are waiting for Prince question, is so React is a JavaScript library for rendering user interface. React is built from small units like button. Sorry, the UI is actually built from small unit like button. Yes, we turn everything into a module. So if you want to create a button, you have to write your components for button, text, image. Then React lets you to do what? It lets you combine them into reusable and nestable components. So from website to phone apps, everything on your screen can be broken down into components. I hope you guys did UI UX and you know everything can be broken down into components. This is your header. The header can be broken down into components. The search itself, we can write the component code for it. Then we can call it into the header code itself. We can import it. So that's just what it's trying to explain here. So you get to read about this and you see how to write your first components. So you guys should read about it. Understand? That's one thing you guys need to do. Read about it so that in the next class, when we'll be building with React, I would have little of explanations to give. Rather, I will be clearing your doubts and the questions that comes from this. So you can always start from here. You understand? And yes, you can use your traditional styling, but you need help of some libraries. You need help of some libraries. You can use your traditional styling, but it will be wise. Joshua, I can see your hands is up. Let me also have your question on the chat box. It's raining heavily here, and the sound I just can't hear well from my PC. Um, so Joshua, Prince, remember in today's session, the early morning session, I talked about you looking at the tools you have at hand and looking at the limitations you have. Then you have to ask yourself, do I need to upgrade? You understand? So, well, we can use libraries like Tailwind, you can use Bootstrap or so on your React. So for me, I use Tailwind. Yeah, it might look difficult or so, but trust me, Tailwind is very, very interesting and easy once you've understood the basis. And we'll also do that in this class. You know, the next class we'll be having next week is we are working fully on React. Then I will introduce you guys to also everything that has to do with the back end. Exactly. So I'm sure with the way I taught React today, I'm sure you might not have heard about React elsewhere, just like the way I talked about it. You know, and I'm certain about that. So Joshua, I'm still awaiting your question on the chat box. All right, so Joshua said he got it. There is no problem. All right, so I've sent in the link. I've pinned it down. So we'll now look into it. I will teach you guys. Now, one thing you have to know is you have to first have to learn how to create a folder in order for you to write your React. So you come to the documentation and you go to your installation. So you will see if you should use create React app. You know, most if you go to YouTube, you will see people using create React. And that's why I said the documentation link is very, very important. You can see it's written here that no, create React app has been deprecated and you could use other libraries. Yeah, for me, we use what we call, I use what we call Vite. Yeah, that's the Vite. So I use the Vite to set up mods, to set up my React environment. So we would also look at that and many more. So I want to thank you all, and I also want to apologize for how you guys actually kept on waiting and didn't get a response. We're sorry about that and what happened. It actually came from my end due to the fact that I requested for a 1 hour extension due to the situation I had on ground. And I'm really very sorry about that. I hope you guys are, yeah, contented with okay, so the attendance link is here. Prince, this is the attendance link here. Everybody can now fill in the attendance link. So hope you guys are contented with what you got so far. Okay, Joshua said I didn't get this byte set up. Byte set up my React environment. Okay, yeah, I said I use Vite. So rather than use create React app, we'll be talking about that in the next class. So I use Vite to set up my React environment. I would have loved, okay, let me see if I could show you a project where I use Vite. I do have one on my PC. I have a lot, in fact. You know, and I also talked about this in the class. Let me say this particular PC I'm using now, I'm always having space issues and you know, but the fact that I uses a GitHub repo, all I just do is I go there and once I push my code to the repo, I delete it from my system and I can always get it back. So that is one thing. So let me show you an example of me using Vite. So this is a front-end app I'm working on with React. You can see how I will show you how everything is being is component wise here. How everything is component wise. Well, like my engine is so slow at the moment. We'll talk about that. I hope you guys have all filled the attendance link. Have we all filled the attendance link? Meanwhile, the page will load up. Surely it's going to load up. Give, give. All right, guys. I hope you are still seeing my screen. I'm actually sharing my screen. I'm still sharing my screen. So I just I wanted to show you what I use in setting up my React environment. And you can see this is it here. You can see the Vite written on it. Yeah, this is the Vite environment. You understand? So that's what I use in setting up my React. So we'll talk about that in the next class. So once again, I want to say thank you all for joining this section. I hope you all found it interesting. I hope you all learned about what it has to do with React. You can now talk about React, and we would also get to see how to apply React in the forthcoming class, how to write React. So please do well. Like I would say, the link I sent in, do well to research and read it, study it, learn everything that has to do with it. Yeah, that's the little price you would have to pay. And yeah, we'll be up and running from the next class. So thank you all for now. There is no other question. I would say this is how we come to the end of the class for today. So thank you, Joshua. Thank you, Stido. Thank you, Prince, Demitayo, Bolu, Yeah, thank you all, and yeah, bye for now. Yeah, thank you, Joshua, and bye. Thank you, Temitayo, Dolu, and Prince. Yeah, bye for now. Bye bye.